Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today here I'm reviewing the Jurassic World Ultimate Damage Scorpios Rex. Now I got this in Australia Kmart for 60 Australian dollars. However, if I'm not wrong, you can buy these at Walmart in America and you can buy these at Smith's Toy Store in the UK. So yeah, take that if you will. So yeah, the Scorpios Rex. Now this is a dinosaur that came out of a show that I didn't really like, being Camp Cretaceous. I did like the first, I think up to like first 3 seasons where they were on Isla Nublar. However, when they got on the season with Manticore, I thought that was a bit too much. It was a bit too sci-fi at that point. Like, come on, robots controlling dinosaurs. It was getting a bit weird. I know they had that like sprinkled out throughout season 1 to 3, but I didn't really like it. However, one thing that I definitely liked throughout Camp Cretaceous was them showing the first few iterations of the Indominus Rex, as I'm inferring that the Scorpios Rex was the first version of the Indominus, as they look sort of similar. So yeah, and I loved that entire storyline of the Scorpios Rex. I thought it was quite well done. However, it's sad to see that it died quite easily to a building collapsing. It was kind of underwhelming, that death. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. However, yeah, I loved everything they did with the Scorpios Rex. So yeah. So, this figure, I would say, is very well done. It is quite accurate to the show, where it has all the quills on the neck. The shape of the head looks accurate. However, the only thing I would argue about, the tail isn't long enough, but that's most mainline Jurassic World Mattel figures, and I would say I would have wished for more painting where the jaw and the underbelly, you can see it kind of cuts off around here. So I wished it went on further. I don't know if that's accurate, but yeah, the painting we get on this is minimal, but that's understandable for most mainline Jurassic World figures. Now, another thing, while the detail on this figure is great, the one thing that isn't so great, the articulation. One of the articulation being the neck joint and the jaw joint are connected to a play feature, which I'll show later. However, all we get for a tail joint is just turning this tail around bit by bit, and I don't really like that. I wish they gave us a joint here. And for the legs, we only can really move it back that far and move it forward that much before it gets in the way of the arm. And then the other side is slightly different, where we get to kick back a bit more. So yeah, and then the arms, if I move both of the legs back, we can move the arm back that much, and we can roughly rotate it you can rotate the arm 360. And I'm guessing the same can be done for the arm. I like that they sculpted both arms differently. That's a nice feature. But yeah, the articulation on this figure isn't the greatest. However, the play feature on this figure, this is my first time buying a mainline figure since Jurassic World Dominion. And it's not bad of a play feature in my opinion, where its main play feature, there's 2 main play features. The first one is this, where you push down the head, it opens its jaw, has a raw activation, and then it goes back up. That's a neat feature. And if I'm not wrong, there's 3 different voice lines for this. That's the first. That's the second. And that's the third. All slightly different variations from one another. And now another thing I like is this battle damage. I think this is one of the more unique battle damage I've seen, where Okay, it's not a unique one. The Hasbro Jurassic World figures did use this feature where you press on it, it lights up raw activation. However, I think the light up on this figure is done better. However, before I show the light up how good it is, let's see the play feature. So all you have to do is press. There's the red lights, and it has 3 different voice lines again. That was the first, this is the second. And this is the third. Hold on. Wait for that to shut off. So yeah, those are the 3 different variations of that roar. So yeah. So now, let's turn off the light. As you can see, you can still see it there roughly. However, let's see if the light up on this is good. And yes, it is. It's not that bad. You can actually see like some internal skeleton, if I'm not wrong. I don't know if they actually sculpted in a skeleton in this. But yeah, you can see like intestines around the back part here, which is, I think, yeah, that is a very nice light up feature. And I think that is, oh, sorry there if I flashbanged you, but that is a very nice feature. So yeah, the play feature on this figure is quite good. The articulation could have been better. However, it's a mainline figure. If this was a Hammond Collection figure, I would definitely hate it. But I am hoping in the future they make a Hammond Collection of the Scorpios Rex. I would definitely pick that up, but it seems like they're mainly focusing on Dominion at the moment. I don't think they should, but yeah. And the detail on this figure is overall pretty good. I would say if you find this figure, I would say definitely pick this up, as this is the only accurate Scorpios Rex we have at the moment, as the one in the past, the first one, when Season 3 came out, the one that came out for Scorpios Rex was this one. And this is a horrible Scorpios Rex. This was the only one at the time, as first of all, the skull shape doesn't look like the one from the show at all. It's too tall. I don't think it stood this tall in the show. And yeah, the overall body, it just doesn't scream Scorpios Rex to me. The play feature on this figure was nice, where we get a roar feature. Of course, I took out the sound. You push this button down here, it opens its jaw, and then another button, you press this, and you get some like scratch action. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that was like the 2 main features. Overall articulation, I think, was better on this, where we did get tail articulation and neck articulation without a play feature, and the legs you could rotate 360 degrees. But other than the articulation, I would say this newer version, it is way better. I think the detail and the play feature are way better than the older one, and I think it is a worthy sacrifice of sacrificing the articulation for an overall better figure, in my opinions. If that's not what you feel like, tell me in the comments. So yeah, anyways, if you want, here are the scan codes for the Jurassic World Fact apps. If I'm not wrong, I don't know if you can scan that. If you can't, this one you don't really care about. However, this one, here you go. So yeah, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so yeah, so overall, I feel like this is a must buy. If you feel that way, that's good. If you don't feel that way, I would like to hear your thoughts and opinions about this figure in the comments below. So yeah, overall, I think this is a great figure, and I hope you feel that way too. So yeah, until the next video, this is goodbye for now. Have a nice day, and until the next video, bye bye for now, and good night.